Before making a single video for this YouTube channel, I spent the first 2 years of my software sales career absolutely grinding as an SDR, making over 40,000 cold calls, generating over $10 million in pipeline, leading to over $1 million in revenue. I've since promoted to an account executive, thus tripling my on-target earnings, and I still work with sales development representatives to this day. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to be a good sales development representative based on my experience. If you've ever been hung up on, make sure to drop a like on this video below. There's so many traits that lead to one becoming a good sales development representative. One myth I want to dispel is that sales development representative and business development representative, it's the exact same role, just so you know. A lot of people think it's something different, and also inside sales is technically sales development as well because you're not actually traveling. So it's all the same thing, it all fits within the same mesh point of what we're talking about in this video here today. When we think about the common traits that make successful SDRs, number one is operating with urgency. Each and every day, I work from home. I come out of that room right there. That's where I sleep. That's where I live. I walk out about 10 feet and I sit right there at my desk. And then I sit and make videos at this desk in the evening. That's what I do for fun. I operate with urgency. I wake up at roughly the same time each and every day. I have a morning routine. Really important if you're working from home. Have a morning routine so that you can set yourself up with success early on. Some days you may wake up feeling lethargic and thinking, man, today's just not going to be my day. It's because you wake up, you take a really hot shower, you hit your snooze button, you make your coffee, you sit down, you watch a YouTube video, you haven't overcome anything. Wake up, have a morning routine, go get that workout in, go do that meditation, go do that journal, write down your goals, overcome some obstacles so that when you find yourself later in the day having to go prospect and find 20 people to add to your email sequence, you're gonna have a little bit more motivation to do it. And when we think about doing or taking action, that's the most important role of being an SDR because you're generating pipeline. And you need to operate with urgency as if someone is trying to take everything away from you at every moment in time. I operate as if someone's coming for me. I operate as if I have no tomorrow. I operate as if I have everything to lose and I wanna win. And what that looks like is whenever I receive an email response from a customer, immediately, my goal is, you see that little 0, 1, 2, 3, how long it's been since the time has elapsed. I want to respond as quickly as possible because prospecting customers feel that, especially as an SDR, you're booking meetings for account executives like me. The faster you respond, the faster they're going to get back to you. And if you take multiple hours to respond, then that opens the door for them to take multiple hours to get back to you. Operate with urgency when you're dealing with internal communications. When people reach out to you, get back to them immediately. Be proactive in your response. Operating with urgency looks like doing the right things before anyone tells you what to do. And I think it's really important. I think that that's why I've found so much success early on. If you want to go verify what I've actually done in my career, who I work for, what I do, my pace and history, go check me out on LinkedIn and by all means connect with me there as well. I put all my pace and history quarter by quarter. The number two trait that will help you become a good SDR is to consistently, that's the key word, to consistently win each day. In my organization, Qualtrics, we have a saying in the SDR program, win the day. The reason it's so important is because as an SDR, you are in the front lines. You're doing a lot of the grunt work. It will be the hardest and also the easiest role you probably ever have in your career. As an SDR, I look back to so many days where I made 80 to 100 cold calls. I got hung up on multiple times. We would start to keep a tally note on the whiteboard of how many times we've been hung up on, and if we hit 5, we immediately had to go grab an alcoholic beverage despite the time of day. Another story for another day, but bottom line is consistency is everything because there's gonna be days where you don't feel like it and the activities you're doing are monotonous at times and very difficult to consistently do because you're gonna face a lot of rejection. Being told no isn't always a bad thing. It's good to be rejected. It's good to get someone out of sequence. And it's good to just feel like you're connecting with someone because then it's going to open the door to that next yes. When we think about the consistent activities that are most important, it's activities that help you generate pipeline. cold calling, sending emails, using LinkedIn, adding people to your sequence. And what I want to talk about are the different metrics I look at that go into a successful day and successful cold calling. You want to break out your activities. Think about a basketball player. You want to know how they shoot from 3-point. You want to know their field goal percentage. You want to know their plus minus ratio, whatever it may be. As a sales rep, you want to have an idea of what is your answer rate of the amount of cold calls you're making. How many people are actually answering the phone? What is your set rate of the people you're talking to? What percentage of people are you actually setting a meeting with? Of the meetings you set, what is your show rate? How often do they actually show up to the meeting? And then of course, of the meetings that are completed, what is your conversion rate, opportunity conversion rate? Because that's what we're looking for. You want an answer rate of 8%, you want a set rate of 15%, you want a show rate of 80%, and you want a conversion rate of 90%. So if you make 100 calls, 8% contact rate, 8 people on the phone. Of the 8 people, you're setting 15%, so that's like 1.5. And then you can do the rest of the math. And when we think about what a successful day looks like, I'm gonna go ahead and link up a video to B2B software sales prospecting and what a day in the life should look like and the activities you want to do for the most success. The third and final trait that we're going to talk about here today is you need to become a learning machine. If you look at the most successful people among us, Jeff Bezos, Tom Brady, so many other people that I can name a lot of people, but I don't want to go off on different silos. What is the commonality amongst all of them? It's that they learn and they outlearn other people and they identify through self-awareness where are their weaknesses, what information are they missing, and what can they learn that will help them take their game to the next level to better serve their customers, to create more value for themselves and everyone around them. And I think that's what separates so many reps over time. Another basketball analogy, if you look at Kobe Bryant, and he says, the reason I was so good is because I spent my formative years, 18 to 24, literally spending every moment practicing shooting free throws, playing before school, playing during lunch, and then over the summers working out 3 times a day. And by the time you get to a certain age, you've simply compounded your learning at such an exponential rate that other people cannot catch up with you. And I like to use that analogy for sales. I spent the first 2 years of my career absolutely grinding, working hard, really getting good at my craft, and that's what you should be focusing on as well, because the faster you learn, the faster you develop, the more successful you're going to become, and then eventually you'll reach a place where everyone else is over here, and you're right here, and people are saying, what are you doing? What is your secret? And it's, hey, I simply put in the time to get really good, and now it's paying dividends, and now I find myself 26 with the next 40 years of my career runway ahead of me, with the foundational skills that will serve me so well for time to come. And that's the final point, is keep the perspective. You'll be impatient as an SDR. So many days I woke up and said, man, I can't do this anymore. I got to promote. I'm ready. I'm going to leave my company. And then all of a sudden I promoted and said, wow, I'm actually ready now. So put in the time, get in the reps. You will get to where you deserve to be. So go focus on getting really good. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel for more sales videos. Of course, drop a comment down below for the algorithm. Let me know what you're thinking. Would love to hear from you. I read them all. And then of course, connect with me on LinkedIn as well if we have not already. Talk to you in the next video.